Okay, so we're going to review the three-dimensional shapes that we talked about yesterday. We're going to start with the cube. All the faces of the cube are a square. So I can call any of these two squares that are parallel of each other the base. So I could say this side's the base and then this side is the base. And if I were to unfold it, I would wind up with the net of the cube, and when I unfold it, I would call this the base and this the base. They're opposite each other. They're parallel each other. And it's made up of 6 squares, and you have to have one on each side so that when you fold it up, it will create your cube. Then we also have the rectangular prism, and I could say that any of these rectangles are the base as long as it was opposite of each other, parallel to each other. So if I go ahead and say this is the base and this is the base, okay, those would be the bases of my rectangular prism. And then when I take its net and I unfold it, I would have the bases here and here, the 2 square bases, and then everything else is a rectangle. So that would make our rectangular prism. Another prism that we have is the triangular prism, and it gets a little bit confusing to identify its base because sometimes it doesn't sit on its base. Okay, it's got 3 rectangle sides and 2 triangle sides. Well, the triangles are opposite of each other. Those are going to be our bases, because I can only have 1 or 2 bases. So even if I turn it like this, my bases are still here and here. If I turn it like this, my bases are here and here. And it's a little bit easier to see when you open it up, because when you have the triangular prism and we unfold it, we see the 3 rectangles and then the 2 triangle bases. And these are the bases because we can only have 1 or 2 bases. And then our last shape is the cylinder. And it has the 2 circle bases. And it's kind of easy to tell what the base is on the cylinder. Okay? And if we unfold the 3-dimensional representation of the cylinder into the 2-dimensional representation of the cylinder, then we get our 2 circles, bases, and then our rectangle made up of all these little rectangles. But it's really just one big rectangle and 2 circle bases that make our cylinder. And that is our 3-dimensional shapes shown in 2-dimensional form as their nets.